I am Kesten Rono, and you are here for day 25 of our exploration of A Course in Miracles. Today, today I put a cat to sleep, my 5-year-old Myco. He's a good boy. So today we turn in termination with conviction and devotion to feeling love. I love you, Myco. So we begin. Miracles are part of an interlocking chain of forgiveness, which, when completed, is the atonement. Atonement works all the time and in all the dimensions of time. Miracles are part of an interlocking chain of forgiveness, which, when completed, is atonement. Atonement works all the time and in all the dimensions of time. Atonement here with a capital A. I'm familiar with the term of atoning for my sins. Miracles are part of an interlocking chain of forgiveness, that we forgive ourselves, others, that when we forgive, we receive God's forgiveness, that when someone feels forgiveness, they feel levity, opportunity to see life differently, to separate who they are from their upsets, that we have permission to breathe again. Miracles mean life, and they are expressions of love. Our thoughts alone can channel this love, filling ourselves up and therefore allowing us to give what we have, fullness. What we desire, we see, and what we see, we desire. So we desire love, so we may see love. We do so by severing ourselves from this circle of attack thoughts, justified by our hurts in defense of what we claim to love, which I believe we do. Yet we invest ourselves in more pain, anger, fear, and upsets when we can simply invest ourselves in love. That there is something fundamentally existing already over which we have colored and believed that it does not exist, that we seek safety from certain death, that somehow we can prevent it. But that is not the path of the ego and its fear-based building. The illusions that come from it, where we believe that we have more power with control. But our power comes from forgiveness, for recognizing our sources of upsets, our attack thoughts, or how we have been attacked, that they are one and the same, and letting them go, and allowing the natural process of miracles to come up and replace those thoughts, those ideas. We know that they are already replaced. They are illusions on top of whatever unconditional love is, and fear comes with condition. So we invest ourselves on the direction of peace, safety, and freedom from worry. Yesterday we learned miracles enable you to heal the sick and raise the dead, because you made sickness and death yourself and can therefore abolish both. You are a miracle. I am a miracle, capable of creating in the likeness of our Creator. Everything else is our own nightmare and does not exist. Only the creations of light are real. I feel this practice today, facing sickness and death, and I forgive myself to participate in part of the interlocking chain of forgiveness. That when this is completed, whatever this chain is between ourselves or each other or across time, that atonement is complete. And we know that it is vital that you and I dedicate ourselves to the idea of love, else it cannot be everywhere, I suppose. Atonement works all the time and in all the dimensions of time. Atonement works all the time. Atonement is the completion of the interlocking chain of forgiveness. Today, I encourage you to forgive yourself for your upsets. Lesson 25. I do not know what anything is for. You do not know what anything is for. Purpose is meaning. Purpose is meaning. Today's idea explains why nothing you see means anything. You do not know what it is for. Therefore, it is meaningless to you. We do not know what anything that we see is for. Therefore, it has no meaning. Everything is for your own best interests. That's very interesting. Yesterday, we were admitting, I do not perceive my own best interests. Today, we are saying, everything is for your own best interests. I suppose everything God has made has meaning. Therefore, everything possibly is our own best interests. That is what it is for. That is its purpose. That is what it means. It is in recognizing this that your goals become unified. It is in recognizing this that what you see is given meaning. So, purpose is what meaning is. If God created everything with meaning, then everything God created has a purpose. You have a purpose. I have a purpose. If fear and its attack thoughts, its vengeance, upsets, sadness, sorrows, anything along its path is creating with illusions, they are meaningless. Our thoughts and our investments there are meaningless. And they have no purpose because we are out of misalignment with God and truth. Nothing we see means anything. We do not know what it's for, and therefore it has no meaning. Everything is for your own best interests. Everything is for our own best interests. Everything being created by God has meaning, has purpose. In recognizing this, your goals become unified. In recognizing this, what we see is given meaning. We first recognize it's meaningless that we are not seeing. And in recognizing this idea that everything God has created, that purpose means meaning, everything is for our own best interests. That is what it is for. That is its purpose. That is what it means. And this allows us to find meaning in what we see. You perceive the world and everything in it as meaningful in terms of ego goals. These goals have nothing to do with your own best interests because the ego is not you. This false identification makes you incapable of understanding what anything is for. As a result, you are bound to misuse it. When you believe this, you will try to withdraw the goals you have assigned to the world instead of attempting to reinforce them. Interesting. Again, here we are being assigned to our allegiance of the ego. And we know that the ego builds with fear, and its tools are illusions, believing that it is in somehow fighting God, that God's true purpose, based on the expression of love, the source of love, this offering of miracles, that it would offer anything other than our greatest meaning and our greatest purpose, the greatest reason for action, to be creators and charge our thoughts with love, to discover perfect peace and perfect safety and freedom from worry. We are associating ourselves with our ego. Therefore, our goals have nothing to do with our own best interests. The ego's goals are illusions. They are not true. They will not come to fruition. If they are meaningless, they have no purpose. And, well, then we are pursuing something without purpose. What is on the end of our destination is meaningless. As a result of our false identification, we are incapable of understanding what anything is for, and therefore we are destined on this path of illusions to misuse it. When we believe this, we will try to withdraw the goals we have assigned to the world instead of attempting to reinforce them. Another way of describing the goals you now perceive is to say that they are all concerned with personal interests. Since you have no personal interests, your goals are really concerned with nothing. In cherishing them, therefore, you have no goals at all, and thus you do not know what anything is for. Okay. When we are enveloped in our ego, we are investing ourselves in our quote-unquote personal interests. But the ego's goals are illusions. They are ideas of control to offer power and prevention of an idea of destruction, which is natural for the ego. Everything falls to love or rises to love, however you would like to see that idea, that the unconditionalness of love imbued into everything that God has created, including you, including me, including our pets, has meaning. And when we recognize the meaningless we have assigned to the goals that we have created for our own ego, we are able to arrive closer to nothingness and have an opportunity for forgiveness, purification, ultimately atonement. That this is still happening in all of time, all the time, just like miracles are. A process that is always occurring, is habitual and natural. That this expression of forgiveness and this receipt of love is why we are here. It is part of the purpose, at least. When we are focused on our personal interests, even if we don't think that they are personal interests, but they are rooted in the egoic, meaningless facade we are typically wearing, they are actually concerned with, therefore, by definition, nothing. There's nothing there. They're illusions. They are not true. So we are investing ourselves in nothing. As we, therefore, cherish these false ideas, we have no actual goals at all. And we do not know what anything is for. We are suffering in more meaningless confusion, which causes sickness, which we have the ability to heal with our thoughts through miracles as creators. It's not really that far-reaching. if we don't know what we are chasing, which is why we are asked to being established goals, but if we can also recognize those as mere personal goals, possibly selfish goals somehow, those goals without true sight, as we attempt to pursue those goals, we will not find meaning. We've heard this from people who we find successful, that as they approach a goal and achieve it, it's a great success and they can celebrate, but they still exist in the very next moment. And most people will admit that there is still something else to pursue, even if it's a change in habits completely. That time is continuing. So is the learning. And we want to be building with purpose. If we're building with purpose, Autumn, here, lay down. Good girl. If we're building with purpose, we're creating something true. And we're investing ourselves in meaning. Ultimately, what we want to be expressing, and I believe each one of us could say that. We want what we create to have meaning. And luckily, we are imbued with the opportunity to create as the Creator has created us. Even if we do not understand, may we appreciate this microcosm. Microcosm. Before you can make any sense out of the exercises for today, one more thought is necessary. At the most superficial levels, you do not recognize purpose. Yet purpose cannot be understood at these levels. We do recognize purpose at the most superficial levels, but it is a superficial purpose. Therefore, purpose itself and meaning cannot be understood. And we allow miracles to organize themselves and their levels. Rest, please. For example, you do not understand that a telephone is for the purpose of talking to someone. No, we do understand that a telephone is for the purpose of talking to someone who is not physically in your immediate vicinity. What you do not understand is what you want to reach them for. And it is this that makes your contact with them meaningful or not. We are expressing ourselves through our egos. And therefore, we cannot actually know what the purpose or therefore the meaning is of the communication that we're having with this person. That this is alluding to, we are having meaningless communication, even with all of the connection we believe we have. That it is a tension, and we are not really sharing the true message that we are attempting to discover in this book together. It is crucial to your learning to be willing to give up the goals you have established for everything. The recognition that they are meaningless rather than good or bad is the only way to accomplish this. The idea for today is a step in this direction. So, today's idea, I do not know what anything is for. Sounds close to some of our earlier lessons. And here we are trying to recognize that our goals, in addition to ideas, our goals are meaningless, not good or bad. That good and bad are somehow the same or not the focus. The only way to accomplish our goal of having meaning in everything is to recognize that our current goals are meaningless. One step in this direction. 6 practice periods, each of 2 minutes duration, are required. Okay, we jumped to 2-minute sessions times 5, and now we are going to go 2 minutes times 6, and it's required. It's not saying take it easier. We are on the path to devotion with conviction and determination, with ease. Each practice period should begin with a slow repetition of the idea for today, followed by looking about you and letting your glance rest on whatever happens to catch your eye, near or far, important, in quotes, or unimportant, human or non-human. That's an interesting stretch. With your eyes resting on each subject you so select, say, for example, I do not know what this chair is for. I do not know what this pencil is for. I do not know what this hand is for. Say this quite slowly, without shifting your eyes from the subject until you have completed the statement about it. Then move on to the next subject and apply today's idea as before. 6 practice periods, 2 minutes each. First, we will say, I do not know what anything is for. Please repeat after me. I do not know what anything is for. I do not know what anything is for. I do not know what anything is for. And then we'll look around. 2 minutes slowly. I do not know what this dog is for. And I do not know what that dog is for. And I do not know what that dog is for. I do not know what this chair is for. I do not know what that blanket is for. And today I must admit, I do not know what that cat post is for. I am Kesten Rono, and I thank you for choosing love and meaning with me in this practice. I'll see you tomorrow for day 26 of our exploration of A Course in Miracles. Be well.